Hello, everybody. This is Carol Milletta from the Parenting 411, where we share information parents need from sources they can trust. We've got a very special evening for you today. We're going to talk about motherhood, and I'm going to be going back to back actually. After I talk with these wonderful moms here on News You Can Use, I will be heading over to the group, the Ethiopian Community of LA. I will be talking to mothers there. So this is exciting. You know, I love to talk about parenting, certainly motherhood. So this is a great evening for me. I am thrilled to have some amazing women with me this evening. Each of them has been named by American Mothers Incorporated as the Mother of the Year for their state. And I've had an opportunity to meet them at the convention, and two of them I already knew, but these are some powerful women. They are making a difference not only for their own children and their own families, but they are also making a major impact and supporting other families in their community and enriching the lives of children. And so I can't wait for you to hear them. So I will do a little bit of an introduction first to let you know who we're going to be talking to. So we're going to hear from Reverend Ciara Simonson. She is the 2021 Virginia Mother of the Year. She is an ordained minister and a relationship counselor at the Imago Center of Washington, D.C. Indicative of her compassion for humanity and her commitment to helping others heal and grow, she has established herself as a dynamic speaker and pastoral counselor, integrating her theological and clinical background. She identifies herself as the wounded healer. She shares her passion for healing by educating, encouraging, and empowering others to honor the full context of their lives. She received a Master's of Divinity from Howard University and an MS in Mental Health Counseling from Loyola University. She is a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, as well as Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, and co-founder of Love Works, an organization that supports relationships and families, creating connections through safe conversations. Ciara's pride and greatest joy is engaging the fullness of life with her loving husband, Victor, while sharing the honor of parenting her daughter, Victoria Grace, her son, Emmanuel Justice, and carrying the memory of her angel baby, Trinity. We also have with us this evening Maria Thorpe, and she is the 2021 Maryland Mother of the Year. She works for the federal government in engineering. She is also in real estate. She owns a business. She's a speaker, mentor, and a co-author. She is very passionate about giving back and has mentored numerous students and professionals in science, technology, engineering, and math. She's spoken at events, including schools and colleges, so that she can inspire girls and women about being the best they can be with the gifts and talents that God has given them. She has a book entitled Unleash Your Superpower: 6 Extraordinary Stories on Discovering and Accepting the Power Within. She talks about identifying and using your inner strengths. She is also the co-owner of the Waldorf Chess Club, which she founded with her husband. So she works with kids as young as 5, teaching them how to find their inner strength through the game of chess. The club is open to anyone who's interested in learning how to play chess for private lessons, casual play, and tournament play. Maria is a graduate of the Naval Postgraduate School, and she's a graduate of Drexel University in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering. She has received numerous awards and honors, and not the least of which is the Carolyn Parker Foundation, the Legacy Leader Award. She also contributed in President Obama's White House Day at the Labs. She has also earned the Black Engineer of the Year Award for community service and the Department of Defense Women's History Month STEM Role Model Award. She is a native of Philadelphia. She currently lives in Waldorf, Maryland, and she is married and she has 2 sons. I am going to bring them on. Welcome, Reverend Ciara, and welcome, Maria. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Yes. As I promised everyone, we also should have the 2021 DC Mother of the Year joining us in just a moment. She is Dr. Amber Golden. So I will start off by letting you all introduce yourselves. I gave an introduction, but maybe you can share some little known fact that that I don't know. So we'll start with you, Reverend Ciara.
Unknown fact. Well, I have to share that I'm married to a musician, and that's like a whole nother thing, right?
Uh-huh.
That's not quite reflected in my bio, but being a mother and a wife to a musician kind of comes with so many layers
Mm-hmm.
of adjustments to life. And it's also just wonderful and exciting. So my husband, Victor Simonson, who is an amazing musician, I am grateful and just honored to be his wife and to share life with him.
Wonderful, wonderful. How about you, Maria?
Well, you did a wonderful job with the introduction. I would just say that I am the youngest girl of 8. And so I come from a big family. And it was interesting being the youngest. Many people thought that my sister was my mother because she was 18 when I was born and she always had me with her. And so that's a little fun fact.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And
Yeah.
so let's talk about like what it meant to you to be named Mother of the Year. I'll start with you, Ciara, for Virginia this year. What did that mean?
So it was quite an honor and a privilege, and certainly came at a time when just, during this time of COVID, where having that reinforcement and just that honor of like, you have done the work, you are doing the work, just was more encouraging and just affirming and just needed more so than ever before. Was such a huge and wonderful honor and privilege just to experience that sense of esteem and affirmation. And I have to say that when I was notified of being selected Mother of the Year for Virginia, there was this sense of overwhelming feeling, right? Like I was just overwhelmed with emotion. It's just like, me? Really? Me? And just sitting into, kind of like in touch with this question, like, why me? But
Hmm.
then when I think about my village, when I say my village of mothers, my support system, and all the women who continue to just pour into my life and make a difference and just how I'm able to show up, because I recognize that I am because of the community that supports and undergirds me, really, which makes a difference in my life. Um, it's just like, yeah, I represent and reflect the life of so many women, not only in Virginia, but across the United States of America, and all of the challenges and all of the experiences and just all of the dynamics that goes into the mothering energy. I identify myself as a midwife of consciousness and
Mm-hmm.
helping not only for children to heal, to grow in their stages of development, but as a relationship therapist, this is the work that I do for the couples that I serve, the communities that I serve. And so it's truly an honor and a privilege to serve in this capacity. But I also remain greatly humbled and honored to serve and represent Virginia. Um, as Mother of the Year.
Wonderful. How about you, Maria?
Well, I was so excited to receive that call. And, for a minute, you just sit there and you think, really? Me? You know, the things that I've done because I love to give back. Someone poured into me when I was growing up, and I just feel that urgency, that need, especially during this last year, but in general. You know, I come from a platform of collaboration, communication, and education. And this has been a tough year for our students, for our families, for our moms, because they had to take on that additional role of educating their students, educating their children. But what I also found out during this time, uh, this honor has allowed me to be an advocate for moms and for families. And many of my platforms, from, you know, being in the real estate business, helping people find that home, that place where you build your familiar relationships and children and families come together, from the chess club, where we bring families and youth together to strategically plan, to think, to collaborate, and to try to put together, just like in a game of chess, a plan for the family. And that plan for many of our families really helped them to get through this tough time this last year. Even though it was a shock for many of us when we first started off in the pandemic, I think it also allowed our families to come together again. You know, we are a community, a family. We're always going. If we're not taking the kids to an activity, you know, we're working, we're always going. But this was an opportunity for me to share with families and for families to share with me some of the things they were going through, but also to be able to come together as a family and be together and learn together and grow together. So this honor has
Mm-hmm.
been tremendous. I'm just excited to represent the state of Maryland and to continue to reach out to our youth and our families to help them in any way I can from an educational, collaboration, and community standpoint.
Mm-hmm. And you know, I was the DC Mother of the Year in 2019, and obviously I didn't have the same conditions that you all had, but a lot of what you expressed were sentiments that I had, just sort of validation, a little encouragement, you know, from God for me, about what the work that I was doing with my children. So I again, congratulations. I really applaud you. Both of you are highly accomplished and really contributing to your community, and you know your communities are blessed because of all that you all are doing.
Mhm.
So now let's dive into to motherhood. So, so let's. So Sierra, can you tell us what was the biggest surprise for you about motherhood?
Ah, where do I begin? The biggest surprise. Well, so I have to share that one of my greatest joys, which was also a significant surprise, was my ability to stretch and grow and like
Mhm.
really let go of like tension, anxiety. When I say the challenges that we experience when our kids do things that may be upsetting or disappointing, and just really be able to have that heart of compassion, um, to stay curious about their growth, their development, their well-being, and I talk about this unconditional love because I
Mhm.
believe that unconditional love is like became very real for me when I became a mom. Like I understood what it meant to like just love my child, right? Not because of what she does, not because of who she is, just because she's my child. And
Mhm.
even though, I have to like brace myself and take deep breaths every single day, she's my child and I love her, right? Yeah.
Right.
And that has been like one of the greatest joys, and also one of the greatest life lessons, in that I've learned that I have the capacity to do this work.
How about you, Maria?
Well, when I was growing up, I was not really thinking I was going to be a mom. And no particular reason. I wasn't thinking about marriage. I was, going to school, getting my degrees, thinking I was going to work. But then, I met my husband in college, and we had a discussion about family and, what it would be like for us. And so when my first son came along, we were in the hospital, and they were, I'll share this story with you. I had to stay in the hospital for a little while. I was fine, but I had to have an emergency C-section. But after all of that, spending time with my son, the joy, the joy that came from holding this little being was so tremendous. It was like you went to another level of love. And it's like that's what's been said, that unconditional caring about someone else more than you care about yourself. And I never thought I could have that feeling. So it was amazing. But the funny thing was, when it was time for us to leave the hospital, my husband and I, we looked at each other, and we kind of said to each other, as we held our son, are they really going to let us go home with this baby? I mean, I didn't have any classes, I didn't have any formal education on how to be a mom, but together, he and I, we took this journey to be parents, and it has been a wonderful experience. So tremendous.
Beautiful, beautiful. Ciara, I thought that you were going to share because I had read what you had shared with American Mothers on the site about the question you the question you asked as you were, as your daughter was born and they placed her there with you.
So that was really one of the most, like, it was a surprising experience, right? Like, because, yeah, Victor and I, my husband and I, so Victor, we waited, we decided to just figure out what the sex would be. And most doctors, most practitioners just kind of assume that, people already know what the sex, what the gender is going to be, because everybody's into like gender reveals these days. But we never, ever discovered, or never like kind of incited like what would the gender be. So we just kind of kept it up until that day. And so like, yeah, on the delivery table, and yeah, as a mom, C-section, had the emergency section. So I can certainly relate to that experience. And it was just like, when that happened, it was like, so can somebody tell me what I had? It was like, oh, who knew? and when I discovered that I had a girl, I was just like, oh, Jesus. So that's where the prayers really began, right? Because like, and even as a clinician, as a therapist, it's like you raise kind of like that mirror image of yourself. And so to have to actually even accept the reality that I am going to face my younger self, honestly, yeah, I really was not ready for that. And I had to call my mom and say, please tell me I was wonderful. Please tell me I was like, just a wonderful child and never gave you any trouble, because I have a girl child.
I tell you, I was so grateful to have sons. Even though I wonder now what it would have been like to raise a mini me. I have so many friends who have girls, and I always found myself hanging around my girlfriends that had girls. because I had boys. And, each time I thought when I left them, thank you, Lord, for my sons, because they were just so much, I mean, I had one friend whose daughter would not stop crying. I'm thinking, oh, how could you just deal with it? But, I'm sure that as a mom, as a parent, you're just happy and blessed that the baby is healthy. So, I can share that with you now because it is in the past, but it was some things I experienced, as a mother. It was like, whoo, I'm so fortunate and blessed. I guess, as I like to say, the man upstairs knew what was best for me.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny, along that same line, I feel like God decided that I just wasn't supposed to have girls because prior to having children at all, I had three godsons. I mean, and it was a situation where three very dear friends asked me to be godparents for their babies, and they all just happened to be boys. And
Mhm.
so then I had my twins and their boys, and I was like, five boys.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
so I,
Yeah.
so I said he must know something I don't know, because he's like, no, you're not going to be directly influencing a little girl. But I enjoy little girls too, and two of my godsons have sisters that I was able to spend time with. So that was a blessing. But I didn't get to fix hair and have bows and
And
dresses.
stockings and shoes and earrings, right? And all the accessories and that goes into like the girls. And I have to say, I have a great deal of compassion for my mom. Just I get it now, right? Like in a way that I didn't get it before. And it's like, yeah, she was really doing the best that she could do, right? Like,
Right.
and just
Right.
what she had, and just trying to provide the best experiences and opportunities, for me. And honestly, I marvel over her, like, because
Yeah.
I look at my life and I'm like, wow, I don't know how she did it, right? But
Yeah.
I get how she did it, and that's where I talk about my village, because it
Mhm.
really does take a village.
Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I was so fortunate, as I said, to have my brothers and sisters. But, my mom had sisters, and so I had those wonderful women in my life, and my cousins, just my aunts, and it the village was tremendous, from people in the neighborhood to teachers at school. I can truly say that I would not be the person I am today without all of those hands in my life. So I'm grateful, and I try to be that resource for someone else. And
Yeah.
it has been
Yeah, that's
tremendous.
beautiful. Can you share, what have you learned, either directly from your child, like what has your child taught you, or just the experience of motherhood? What's been the greatest lesson?
So I'll begin in sharing that, so you hear me often talk about my daughter, because she was the firstborn, and I say that firstborn trains the parent, right? Like, so that's just my experience, and so my daughter is the one who kind of like helped me to like log on to motherhood real quick and come to terms with the reality, like, okay, here we are. And with her life, there's been this experience of joyful aliveness that has come through her life, and revisiting just that early what it's like to be playful, what it's like to experience the joy and the vibrancy and the fullness of life. And she's like, come on, Ma, you need to be happy. Come on, Mom, you need to play. And it's like, wow, I had not realized how I've become so consumed with my work and just doing, and not taking time out to play. So I am so grateful for my daughter who has reminded me, Mommy, you need to take time to play. Come on, let's go jump up and down on, the trampoline. Let's go to Sky Zone. And I'm like, and do those things, right? And it's like I get to do that again with her because of her. She gives me a reason to like relive those experiences all over again. And it's so much fun. And I'm so grateful for that experience of joyful aliveness that comes through her. Now, yeah, my son, who's
I was getting ready to say, tell us about him.
So that's my guy, right? And it's like the love and affection and the sensitivity that like comes with him. And he's just so chill. So I'm always also grateful. Like, but he has helped me to identify the warrior that I am, strong. My son was born premature, and like there's a whole book that I can speak to his life and story. But overall, like he has really helped me to identify the strength that I have as a mom, and just being able to survive and endure great complications.
Wonderful. How about you, Maria?
I've learned so much from them. I mean, the two of them are just awesome human beings. And as they were growing up, they each gave me some of that. It allowed me to do the things I love to do with them, from running around, playing sports, getting down and dirty with them, just being myself and allowing them to be themselves and coming together and enjoying each other. And so having them with me and being engaged in every experience that they had, because my husband and I, we moved to Maryland and our family is in Philadelphia. And so one of the questions that I answered for this wonderful recognition was, what was I going to bring into my family that I had learned because my family wasn't here with me in my environment. So I did a lot of listening and soul searching, and I wanted to make sure that our family was able to engage the life lessons that we learned from our families in Philly and bring them down here, because it was just my husband and I. And so we were our little world. And so together, we learned together, we raised our children together. We saw our families often because, we just went home when we needed to. But when we were here, we were all we had and we depended on each other. And I think that made us stronger as a family, but it also allowed us to grow as individuals because we had to learn how to depend not only on each other, but on ourselves and be able to bring our skills from the youngest to the parents, what they could contribute to our family to make it successful, no matter what that was.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I just also wanted to add, Carol, when I think about Emmanuel, that's my son's life, he also is the reason why I believe in miracles.
Yes.
Yeah. And his life is a miracle in and of itself. And I would be remiss not to acknowledge that. And at 18 weeks is when I received the message that he would not, my pregnancy at that time was death, death, and death. But we
Mm-hmm.
took the risk to sustain life, which
Mm-hmm.
was having an emergency cerclage, which was to keep him in utero, and never thought
Mm-hmm.
it would really, it was a risk. It was all a risk. We really had no idea what would become of it. And
Mm-hmm.
then after delivery at a premature age of 28 weeks and 86 days in the NICU, he
Mm-hmm.
um, he's our walking miracle. And I look at him and I just marvel over like, wow, boy, you have
I
no
can
idea
imagine.
what I went through.
That reminds me of my sister because she had twins,
Mm-hmm.
and my husband's mom is a twin. So I was really hopeful that I was going to have twins. But I remember, her having to go on bed rest
Yeah.
because she was only about 5 feet so. And so for the last several months, having to, go through that process. And she had girls. So they're my girls. I have lots of girls. I have so many girls. It's just tremendous. But
Mm-hmm.
they told her she would not be able to have any more kids after that event. And, her husband at that time, of course, was happy. She named the girls after him, His name was James, so the girls were Jamel and Janelle. But I say this to say she did have a son, even after the doctors told her she couldn't have any children. And, I
Mm-hmm.
watched her go through that when I was younger. That could have contributed to why I didn't think I was going to have any kids, just watching her go through that. And,
Mm-hmm.
but, with God, all things are possible. Just to
Yes,
see her
yes.
family grow, to see what she went through, to see, those children today strong and healthy and, just powerful individuals. Mothers and villages have such a great impact on our youth and providing them
Mm-hmm.
that love they need to do the things that they do. It's just a wonderful experience to go through as a mother. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I can attest to that. And I've read somewhere too before I had children that God works through our children to, for lessons that maybe we weren't able to get on our own.
mhm.
Some of those lessons come out through our engagement and the experiences that we have with our children. So, as we're getting close to wrapping up, I want to ask each of you if there's anything coming up that you want to share with our audience. We've got about 5 minutes.
Oh,
So,
wow. So I'll share, there's a lot that's coming up for the Simonson household right now.
okay.
There's certain details that I can't quite disclose at this moment because it's still
Mhm.
under works, but I will say that the Simonson household is going on the road. We're going on tour, West Coast.
Okay.
And I'm
Okay.
actually looking forward to connecting to some of the other moms, right? American mothers on
Yes.
the
Mhm.
West Coast, right? All up and down the California area. We're going to be taking a whole nother year of homeschooling. So, yeah, I solicit your prayers. But it's a time of great adventure, and thanks to COVID, that I am more open and apt to even going on this journey to support my husband and his work, and what and it's excited about all that will come of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a new year of this great adventure, life on a road with the Simonson family, and
Wonderful.
yeah, that's
Okay. How about you,
Wow.
Maria?
Well, yes, it is going to be so much excitement in this family. First of all, my son has graduated from college, so he will be coming
Oh,
home. So
congratulations.
I now have my family of STEM. So my husband's an engineer, I'm an engineer, my oldest, and now my youngest has his degree. So with that
Okay.
comes some activities. like mentoring and different events in the community as Mother of the Year, things that I'm putting together, STEM events. And also, we will be reopening the Waldorf Chess Club for in-person, over-the-board chess. We began last week by kicking it off with a quad tournament, which was our biggest turnout that we've had. And so we're just so excited about having our family come back together to kick it off, but also of all the activities we're going to do this summer as a family, because, we were not all together. We made that conscious choice when my son was here and the school was going virtual. He said, Mom, I need to be closer to the university. And so we actually found him a place close to the university where he could focus and, get out of college is what his goal was. And my other son, has his own place. So we're all coming back together. We're going to have a huge family reunion in July with, my family from Philly. And so just a lot of excitement. So I'm looking forward to everything we're going to do as a family, everything we're going to do in the community, and all the hopes and dreams I have for some of the things I want to do for the American Mother Association. So excited.
Wonderful. And I don't want to close out before I thank a few people that have been watching with us. Tina Sarsa, Naira Pratt was also watching with us, and also my cousin Laverne. I think you're connected with her too, from
Yes.
Philadelphia.
Yes.
Small world. She was
Yes.
she was on there. She was on there with us too. Now, speaking of chess, I'm going to have to ask you: did you watch Queen's Gambit?
Of course, the entire series.
Of course.
Yes,
Of
I
course.
loved it. Did you like it?
You
And what
know
did
that
you think, knowing
well,
chess
I
as
was
intimately as you
very
do?
happy that they were actually showing real chess. The moves you could follow, they were
Hmm.
accurate. And so the
I
amount
love
of
it. Okay.
effort they put into that series was awesome. I think it provided a new life for chess. We teach USCF rated chess, which is the type of chess they played in that show. So we teach children how to read chess, write chess, and be prepared to play in tournaments like you saw there. So we were so excited. We have some of the top young people in our club. That movie just brought life back into that game of chess. So
I
excitement.
wonder.
There is a great excitement. And Maria, I just have to share with you. So my dad taught me how to play chess when I was
Okay.
like 6 years old.
Yes.
And I ended up happening to marry a chess master.
Okay.
And so my daughter actually
Wow.
and son are learning how to play chess right now. Yeah, like my
Awesome.
husband is one of those like guys that, who Magnus Carlsen type of
Oh,
follower. Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
my husband's been looking at the tournament. He
Yeah.
follows it, Maurice Ashley, all
Right.
those folks.
Yeah.
And I follow Shahade, some of the ladies that play chess. And so it's a wonderful thing for our youth. Both of my kids play chess. In fact, when they're home from school, they'll come and teach the young folks. And like I said, we just had a tremendous tournament with a couple of candidate masters in there. We're familiar with some of the kids that are going for their masters. And so it's just an awesome opportunity for our youth to get involved in this activity.
Wonderful.
My husband and I are so excited to represent the state of Maryland and Southern Maryland and the DMV, because we have folks that come from the DMV to come to our club. So we're excited about that. In fact, the DC
Wow.
champ from a year ago was one of our club members.
Nice. Nice. Well, thank you so much, ladies. And thank you to everyone that has tuned in. And be sure to drop your thoughts in the comments. Thank these ladies for coming on and sharing with us their journey, their motherhood journeys, lessons learned, pleasant surprises, and as well as their experiences as Mother of the Year honorees. I know this will not be the last you hear of them, because they are each committed to giving back to the community and touching the lives of children and families. And I know that they will continue to do that. So thank you again, ladies.
Yes,
And I
thank
will
you.
see you all next time.
Yes, thank you.